Welcome to the Intuitive Marriage Podcast. Join me, Amanda Pott, as we dive into the magic of love, attraction, and making dreams a reality. From reigniting the passion in your marriage or to just tapping into your intuition. Please join me weekly on these episodes where we can cover love, marriage, passion, intuition, all the things that just absolutely speak to my heart. And I really hope that they speak to yours as well. Let's learn more about how to have an intuitive marriage. See you soon. Hello, beautiful souls. And thank you for joining me again for episode 2. I'm so grateful that you came back. It's just such a beautiful day today. Well, it's not a beautiful day, but it's a beautiful day for me to be recording the podcast. It's raining and it's very chilly out. I'm in the prairies in Canada, and my office is nice and cozy. So it is a perfect day to be recording this today. It's May. So we have, some up and down weather here in Canada. It feels like 8 degrees Celsius. Now it's actually 11, but it feels like 8 degrees Celsius. So I think for my American friends, I believe that's around, 52 or something, 52 Fahrenheit. So yeah, it's a little chilly, but we're getting there. Spring is just around the corner. So anywho, let's get started. So, this episode is about the power of self love in marriage. Now, we'll explore why self love serves as the cornerstone for building self awareness and intuition in your marriage. Now, it's fostering passion and it deepens your connection with your partner. So, kind of let's explain that a little bit. We'll go through self love and self awareness. Now, let's define self love. Self love is the practice of nurturing a positive relationship with oneself. It's embracing one's worth and prioritizing self care. So ask yourself, what right now are you doing in your life to nurture yourself? Do you take time out just for yourself? Maybe you're raising children still. I'm lucky enough to be an empty nester. Still busy with kids, but I'm fortunate now, I do have time that I can take for myself. But it's important to take that time and do the things that fill up your cup, right? I recently finished a 12-week course called The Artist's Way with Julia Cameron, and she speaks of these artist dates. It's a weekly outing that you take yourself on. Just alone, by yourself, do something that's inspiring to you. Just take that time for yourself. So my question to you is, do you take time out for yourself? Are you taking care of yourself? A great thing to practice is try to go through the things that bring you joy and passion and try to do an activity once a week. Or it doesn't even have to be an activity, and it doesn't have to cost you money either. Maybe it's just having a bubble bath with a lit candle, or, a cup of matcha or tea, coffee, whatever is your go-to. Have an early morning bath instead of in the evening. Do something that's different for you. One of the things I really enjoy that I do for myself is when I come home from work. I could have worked a 24-hour shift or 48-hour shift. And thankfully, I have a husband who usually has run me a bubble bath. And he knows I need to take that time to transition, right? I go and have a bath for an hour. I listen to my favorite content creators on YouTube or my podcasts. And I have those galaxy lights that do like the northern lights, and that goes in the bathroom with me. I light a candle. I put Epsom salts, essential oils, all the things that I really love and enjoy, and I feel like I'm pampering myself. That is one thing that is very important to me is my bath time. And so maybe it's going for a walk. Maybe it's taking a hike, getting out on those nature trails that you keep telling yourself you're going to go down and check out, but you never do. Maybe you would like to go to the spa, get a pedicure done. For myself, it's journaling. It's taking the time for me to journal. It's meditating. I enjoy learning tarot cards and doing readings. I also love karaoke. We do karaoke at home a lot. Um, we think, we have our little studio kind of set up, and we've bought some new mics and we try out different sound systems, and it's just a passion of ours. We started this a couple of years ago, and my husband, I could never have gotten him to sing before, and now he is such an incredibly talented singer. And we enjoy karaoke nights. We go out when we can, and we often do karaoke at home. It sure beats sitting around, watching Netflix or scrolling on our phones and, just seeing negativity, hearing negativity sometimes. We just have fun. It raises our vibration, it keeps us connected. It's just something that we really enjoy doing together. But I also enjoy doing that on my own when I get a chance. I don't very often, but if I'm home alone and I'm inspired, then I will. I'll take some time out and I'll do some singing. Maybe you like to go for a massage or acupuncture. I went to acupuncture one time, actually. I don't know if you ever have. Let me know. Um, and I was amazed by how incredibly it worked for my lower back pain. Anyways, I don't know. That just kind of came out of left field. Maybe it's you want to read a book. Maybe it's just sitting in silence. Perhaps you like to craft. You're a crafter. You like to create. I enjoy painting. I sort of need to feel inspired to paint, but I usually paint a few pieces in the year. But I find myself, my brain is overactive with different creative thoughts. So I'm constantly trying new things, and I think it's fun. But yeah, I really enjoy painting. Maybe you like naps. Maybe you're a napper. Let me know if you're a napper. I cannot nap. My husband is, he's a champion napper when he wants to be. He gets up super early in the morning for work. So sometimes now there's no children in the home. And if we don't have anything to do, he'll come home from work and he'll have a nice little nap and he feels refreshed. I've never been a napper. It would take me 20 minutes or more to fall asleep. And then I would literally be out for 2 to 4 hours. And then I would wake up feeling like I'm hungover and I'd be completely unproductive. I wish I could. It's just not me. I had a I had a boss once. Actually, they were a couple. They owned this company I used to work for. And every afternoon at like 2:30, 3 o'clock, she would go into her office and kick off her shoes and lay down on the couch in her office, put on a little throw, and she'd close her eyes for 20 minutes and asleep, completely asleep, and be refreshed in 20 minutes every day. It was like her superpower. I don't know, I wish I could nap, but take a nap. Maybe you like to cuddle with your fur babies. Sometimes I just like to cuddle with a blanket and have my dogs all over me. And a big one is just have yourself a routine. Have a skincare routine. Maybe if it's just you wash your face, you brush your teeth, you put some moisturizer on. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, but just do something that's going to benefit your future self. Show yourself some self care, self love. Set your clothes out for yourself for the next day. If you want to go for a walk, set your shoes out for yourself the next day. You want to get up and you want to have a nice start to your morning. Make sure you've prepared coffee the night before. So you have coffee when you wake up. and there's no dishes in the sink and your kitchen's clean. So you can start your day with a fresh, clean slate. I don't know. To me, those things are all self-care, self-love. So make yourself an I am loved menu. Make a list. What are some of the things that you want to do that inspire you? Some of the activities that you would enjoy. Maybe you just want to go to a flower shop or like a chocolatier and buy yourself one really nice, expensive chocolate. Go to a tea house and have some cake. Just kind of think outside the box a little bit. Some of those things that you would enjoy to do, but everything else always takes a priority. So you never do that for yourself. Start doing things for yourself. Love yourself. Be nice to yourself. So let's discuss how self love now leads to self awareness. So when we love ourselves, we become more attuned to our thoughts, our emotions, our needs. And this heightened self awareness enables us to communicate more effectively with our partners. It allows us to express our desires and boundaries and navigate conflicts with greater understanding and empathy. So, I'm going to share a little story that happened recently. Um, and just so you know, my husband and I don't really get into arguments very often or discussions, really. Like, we just have a really great way of communicating and we have an understanding of each other. But yeah, sometimes things we react and things happen and, we digest it and then we have a conversation. So this is one of those moments. And I'm going to share this with you because we both have been working over the years we've been together on having a better empathy and understanding for each other. So when we have these hard discussions and things happen that hurt our feelings, we have a better understanding of where they're coming from. So we were on our way to one of our kids' places, and we had to go down this highway. And I have always been a very nervous passenger, but I trust my husband's driving over anybody's. And for the most part, I really do try to not dig my fingers into the, the seat and gasp because I know how annoying and that can be. But in all fairness, I have on occasion, I know for sure one time I did save us by saying and speaking up and saying, "Hey, honey, like, did you see that?" Or the guy stopped or whatever it was. And he thanked me for that. So, it is what it is. I'm just setting the tone here. Can you tell I'm already defending myself? Um, so we're driving and there's a pickup in front of us and the lights are fairly dirty and he's kind of pumping his brakes. I thinking there's a vehicle in front of him that's getting ready to turn. We're kind of going up on a hill. And I can look over in my peripherals and I see my husband kind of looking out the window and he's changing the radio. And I know he's aware of what's happening, but he, in my mind, looks distracted. And so then all of a sudden this guy stops and I feel like we're going too fast and we're too close than we should be. That's my perception. And I look over and I don't think that he's looking at the road. And I'm like, honey, like he's stopped. And he just like yelled at me, cussed at me, was like, what the fuck? Like, I saw, don't fucking do that. And like just yelled, reacted, which is really not him, especially with me. And so I was like instantly like, right? Nothing happened. We were good. We were obviously far enough away. He was obviously paying attention. Um, but it was kind of like like, whoa. I felt he reacted over the top. He obviously felt like I overreacted. So nothing was said. I've reached a point in my life where I digest things. really, really try to look at both sides and see what just happened. We weren't in a situation where it would have been a good scenario to start talking about it. We probably would have been headstrong and both upset with each other still. So we just took some time. We had a great evening. Everything was great. And a couple days go by, and I know that the conversation will come up when it's ready, but we're acting like, we don't hold grudges. We are mature adults, and it's not that big of a deal. But I do know that he could tell I was probably not my super warm, fuzzy self. So we've gotten to a level in our relationship, clearly, where my husband believes his balls are bigger than they really are. As we were sitting on the couch a couple days after this happened, and he's like, "Hey, I want to show you a couple of things, funny memes." So he's scrolling through a couple of really good, funny memes, and he comes to this one, and I can't remember exactly what it is, but it's his wife, the frown on her face, and he's making some smart ass remark about making a comment about his driving and reacting and freaking out as a passenger. And I just kind of stopped and looked at him, and he looked at me, and he goes, "Too soon?" I was like, "You motherfucker." So that's kind of how he broke the ice of us to kind of talk. And I'm like, "Well, now that we're talking about it, or now that you've brought it up, let's talk about it." And so we just sat there, we smoked a joint, we had a conversation, and it was great because I got his perception of the situation and why he reacted towards me as he did. And the way that he explained it was that it's his job to keep us safe. And he's always very aware. Even though he may be looking around, he was fully aware of the truck stopping, what was happening. And when I reacted the way I did, he instantly thought he missed something, and maybe a car was coming across the highway or something. He thought he had missed something. So then his reaction, I guess, is kind of like the closest he could describe it, was like, you know, I mean, I'm probably going to have people like go, "No, you can't spank your kid." But back in the day, my kid goes to run across the street out of reaction. You just like grab them and like almost spank them, right? Or grab them. It's like that instant, like yelling, because it was frightful. Like it was like something could have really happened that was terrible. So I got that. And of course, we apologized and all the things, right? And came up with a solution that, hey, I can always just drive if I want to, right? But we end up having a good chuckle about it and a better understanding of each other. And he also understands me because I am a nervous passenger. I've been in a couple of accidents where people didn't stop, people didn't react. So I have that as a memory, as a trigger for me. So in understanding, we were able to just kind of get each other, and and basically having a deeper understanding of each other's feelings and perceptions just allowed us to understand where our reactions were coming from, which is super important. That's all it is. It's all about communication. Now, and understanding yourself even, and knowing why you reacted the way that you did, right? Is just sometimes the first step. So having appreciative communication, which we're going to talk about next week, actually. I love talking about communication, and getting to understand yourself, that's all about getting to know you, journaling, meditating, getting quiet, hearing yourself, hearing that those inner desires, being more aware of your needs, and your wants. Make time for yourself, make time for your friends, do fun things, your hobbies. What are the things that you enjoy doing? What are the things that inspire you that you have fun at doing, right? Like just want to smile. Make time to take care of your future self that we talked about earlier. Meal prep, healthy eating, daily movement, having a routine, bedtime routine, morning routine. I'm terrible at routines. I really am. I preach this, but man, I it's a tough one. My work is really all over the place, so it's really hard to have an actual schedule. And yes, I do use that as an excuse. But I do try, and I do definitely make sure that I get up and I give myself time for me, and take that time to journal and make sure you're getting enough sleep. And also, like, say no sometimes. Say no to things that you feel obligated to do, but you don't want to do. Like, of course, look at the scenario and the situation. But often we are saying yes to things that we just don't have the capacity to do or give. But we just keep giving and we just keep giving. And you don't really want to do that thing. And you could have taken that time for yourself to recharge. So say no and stop feeling guilty about it. Decluttering your space. Oh, I've started to do that over the years. And let me tell you, less is really more, and you can stay more organized. It's easier to clean. You know where things are. I still do have lots of pockets in my house I have to declutter, but it's way better than it ever used to be. And again, it's easier when you don't have kids in the house. I do have to say that. Kids have a lot of things. They could still have some of the things here. I think it's Marie Kondo. Yeah, get rid of all the shit that doesn't bring you joy. Maybe you don't wear a dress, but you love the way it feels in your closet. I know that sounds really crazy, but it's an inspiration. It makes you feel good when you look at it. If it brings you joy, then hang on to it for whatever stupid reason that may be in your own mind. If it brings you joy, hang on to it. But if you feel that you can repurpose it, it can bring new love to somebody else, then get rid of it. Declutter your calendar. What do you got going on? Do you have like something booked every night just because you don't want to be alone? Or you just feel like you have to be busy? Unclutter your calendar. Give yourself some nothing time. If you can, of course. And if you can't, really try to find the time because it's super important. Protect your energy. Don't do the things and be around the people that lower your vibration and suck your good energy away. You know, give yourself the priority. Schedule in that downtime and do a self check. Like, how are you feeling? How are your emotions? How are your thoughts? Just check in with yourself a couple times during the day. I actually have an alarm on my phone that goes off 3 times a day. I learned it through one of the additional coaching courses I was privy to when I got my certification through the institute I went to. It was like a clarity coaching course, and they just mentioned, 3 times a day, just check in with yourself. Where are you? Where are you? Are your thoughts in the past? Are your thoughts in the future? Are you living in the moment? How are you physically feeling? Where are your emotions? Are you anxious? Are you sad? Are you happy? What's happening? Check in. What's happening in there? Now, and do you journal? I find journaling extremely important. I journal my thoughts daily for the most part. I do miss a day or two here and there, depending on where I'm at and what life is happening. But I do definitely try to put pen to paper daily. And it's doing that daily, taking that pen to paper, that is the magic of understanding myself. I write down my thoughts, I write down my concerns, my feelings, what's happening, why do I feel this way? And I just get to understand myself better. Now, over the 25 years that I was a single parent, back in the day, 25 years ago. Journaling daily, honestly, saved my life. It saved my kids' lives. It allowed me to vent. It allowed me to work out problems that I already knew the solutions to. That's the thing. We already have all of our answers for all of our problems, but we just don't take the time to listen and to figure it out. And journaling definitely did that for me, and does that for me. So, I journaled things I was grateful for. And sometimes when I was a single mom with kids all under five, three of them under five, it was busy. It was busy. I would sit down and just write down what I was grateful for, what they did that day, what we're going to do the next day, what to look for the next day. And it just gave me a positive, you know, way of looking at my days when some days were really tough. They were hard. They were tough days. I had some days that were very challenging, but I very much found that when I did journal consistently, and I had an outlet that I could express myself, my intuition did grow. It grew with ideas and with downloads through the pages. The ideas come to you. And that's the magic of it. You can't really explain it unless you experience it. Now, let's get into cultivating intuition through self-love. Okay, well, let's figure out what that means exactly. So, what is the connection between self-love and intuition? Well, self-love empowers us to trust our instincts and intuition, guiding us towards decisions and actions that align with our authentic selves and values. It's pretty deep, hey? So, how does self-love enhance intuition in a marriage? Well, by practicing self love, we become more attuned to our inner voice and our intuition, allowing us to perceive our partner's needs and emotions more intuitively. And that also comes with communication and talking, right? This deepened intuitive connection fosters empathy, understanding, and harmony within the relationship because you're curious with each other. You want to understand each other more. Start to cultivate self-love and intuition in your marriage. Well, there's three things that you can start incorporating into your life right away. These three things that absolutely are at the top. There's many, but these are at the top. Practice self-compassion. Treat yourself with kindness, forgiveness, and acceptance. Acknowledge your worthiness and embrace your strengths and your weaknesses. Give yourself some damn grace. Number two, listen to your inner voice. Make time for quiet reflection and mindfulness. Tune into your intuition by paying attention to your gut feelings and subtle signals about your needs and your marriage. Number three, prioritize self care. Take care of your physical, emotional, and mental well being through activities like exercise, hobbies, relaxation. By nurturing yourself, you strengthen your capacity to give and receive love in your marriage while reinforcing your self-worth and your needs. Like create a date night menu. What would you both like to do together? Make it fun, interesting, compromise. Be curious with each other. Learn more about each other, right? Like what are some of the things that you enjoy doing with your partner that maybe you don't necessarily both enjoy? Is there something that your partner's always asking you to come along to and you're like, "Oh, it's not really my thing." Uh, so you kind of do your own thing and you let them do their own thing, which I think is fabulous. And that's fantastic if you're both doing that. But what can you also do to join in together once in a while? Maybe it's just something the two, you'll go along every once in a while. Get curious about why your partner is interested in that. Maybe you'll find something different within them, understanding that and going out there and experiencing that with them. Just be open to it, you know? What could you make more of an effort to do so your spouse feels like you're curious and interested in either learning more about them or what they're doing so that you can share that experience and understand why they enjoy it? And get to know your spouse a little bit more. So now getting to know your spouse a little bit more here kind of takes me into, kind of our next little segment, I guess, if you will. Um, Igniting passion and deepening that connection with your spouse. So, what's the impact of self love on passion? Now, when we love ourselves fully, we are better equipped to share our love and passion, right? We want to share our passion with our partners authentically. And self love fuels our confidence, our creativity, and our zest for life, reigniting that spark of passion in our marriages. Now, when you love yourself, flaws and all, which is not easy, but when you get there and you start feeling that way, you feel confident, you feel sexy, and that energy transfers to your spouse. So there's a flirty sexual energy about you. And when you're feeling good about yourself, by nurturing self love, we cultivate a strong sense of self worth and acceptance, which forms the foundation for genuine connection and intimacy with our partners. When both partners prioritize self-love, they create a supportive and nurturing environment where love can flourish. So, I'm asking you, how can you start to enhance the passion and deepen your connection through self-love? Well, I'm sure you're thinking of things, but I find these three things very important. Embrace your vulnerability. Share your intimate thoughts and feelings to deepen emotional connection and trust, igniting passion in your relationship. Second, quality time together. Quality time together. Schedule regular dates, right? Have a regular date night or activities to nurture connection and intimacy. Strengthen that bond between you. Maybe it's just sitting and having a cup of coffee together. Maybe it's sitting and smoking a joint together. Maybe it's a movie night. Maybe get all dressed up and go out for dinner or just a drive, go for a walk. But don't sit on your phones and watch a movie together and consider that quality time. And number three, communicate needs and desires. So create a safe environment, set the vibe to allow some open communication. Put some music on, light some candles, make it a nice, chill, relaxed vibe. And you can both express your needs and desires. Foster an understanding and have a deeper intimacy between you. It's all about communication. Oh, I just love everything about communication. We're going to cover communication and love languages next week. Ooh, stick around. So, yeah. How well do you know your spouse? Just get curious with each other. Okay, so as we wrap up episode 2, I'm grateful if you are still here. And thank you so much for listening. And please, please do rate and share the podcast if it inspired you. It will help my show to grow. So much love to you. Now, we did discuss this episode, self-love and self-awareness. Some of the things that you can do, make yourself a, I am loved menu or a pamper me menu, whatever you want to call it. But just nurture yourself, prioritize your self-care. What does that look like to you? Fill up your cup. Take the time for you. Maybe you want to have a bath, go for a massage weekly, have a nap, whatever you want to do. Just make sure you are taking that time and actually following through and doing that for yourself. Be aware of your needs and put them first. Start saying no if you need to. Then we also talked about cultivating intuition through self-love. So self-love empowers us to trust our instincts as we collect evidence that we take care of ourselves. So in which turn, that leads us to trust ourselves and our intuition. As we do things that feel right for us, we are constantly reconfirming that we trust and believe our feelings, and we're honoring them. So practice self-compassion. Give yourself some damn grace, girl. I'm telling you. Listen to your inner voice. Check yourself. How do you physically feel? Do you see, hear, feel anything? What are those things? What are you seeing? Do you just know things and you're not sure why? Be curious about it. And prioritize self-care. Take care of your physical, emotional, and mental well-being. It will reinforce your self-worth and your needs. There, do you hear that page turning? And last but not least, igniting passion and deepening connection. When we love ourselves fully, we are able to give ourselves and share our love and passion to the fullest with our partners. Now, I shared 3 things that you can start doing in your marriage today. One is embrace your vulnerability. So tell your spouse your deepest, darkest secret. Your fantasies. I know it's scary, right? But just do it. 2, spend quality time together. Not watching a movie, like I said, right? On your phones or whatever, just sitting there scrolling. Cook together, play a game, sit and talk, get intimate, have fun with each other, have some adult playtime. Number 3, communicate needs and desires. Set the vibe, relax and chill. Light some candles, put some music on. Start to talk, laugh. What are your needs? What are your needs in the bedroom and out of the bedroom? Just talk about it. Ask each other questions without judgment. So that's it, folks, for this week. Thank you for joining me. I really hope that you got something out of this. This is just such a passion of mine, and I just want to share my heart and what's on my mind. And now you can also follow me on Instagram at the Intuitive Marriage Podcast, and drop me some DMs. Let me know how this is affecting you. Let me know what your marriage is like. What's your experience with intuition? I'd love some feedback, and I would absolutely love to hear from you. So on that note, let intuition be your guide in love. Until next time, soulfully yours, Amanda. No, that's super cheesy. So until next time, let intuition be your guide in